It's Monday morning.
It is Monday morning. Good. Rephrase that. We have to double check ourselves out there in the audience, folks. Who are we? Where are we? What day of the week it is? Just to
It's
keep
Monday.
tabs. Yeah, I think Tommy is from being punch drunk. I've been boxing on him so much now. For
Oh,
this is what our 27th event, and it just occurred to me this morning that's 52 weeks in the year. We do this weekly, so we're a little bit over half a year at this.
a
And
tipping point.
yeah, we're still getting along. That's pretty good, I think.
Well, one of us is.
Fair enough. For the newbies who are looking at us for the first time, welcome. And for those who see us on the replay, also welcome. Our role, my challenge is Tommy says that anybody can be, if they choose to be, a confident public speaker. My role is, hey, it's a genetic trait. You're born with it or you're not. For us shy guy, introvert types, or ladies, it can go either way. That it's, I look at those people in awe, saying, "Boy, I'd love to be able to do that to enhance my business." That being said, so I'm punching at him, and for those who are looking at us not on the instant play or the live play, but on the replay, please remember you can see us on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Is it LinkedIn? I believe it is, yes. And you have to remember, though, if you want to leave a comment, and we would love you to do that, please sign in at least to your YouTube account so you can do that for us. And remember to share us with the world around us. I need help, folks. This guy is good at what he does and what he says. And I'm tired of chasing him so hard. So I would ask that you provide us some help and some information about how we can make this stuff work.
Yeah.
Anyway, that being said, today's topic, and it's funny, I somehow have lost screen of myself. Isn't that funny?
There you go.
I have what I call the wandering finger syndrome, and every now and then I'll lose touch to time, place, and person.
You better
So,
get to the gym.
you're right about that. Anyway, that being said, what I'm going to ask today, the topic today is, folks, quite frankly, virtual public speaking versus live public speaking. Tommy is clearly old school. And
Or just
that's,
old.
well, traditional. Was it classical? That's the word I'm searching for here.
Traditional. I like that, Joe.
So I try to be kind to the guy. And that being said, I've heard with stage presence and real world syndrome, you give eye contact. First off, to avoid the sense of being afraid, you stare at the back of the room. So you're not looking at anybody in particular. Maybe every now and then eye contact to make personal touch. Walk back and forth in the stage as you reach out to people. If you're behind a podium, you oftentimes people see they pick up the microphone and they walk around and stand in front of the podium or lean on it perhaps, because all this is a contact approach with your audience to connect. I get that conceptually. However, when I'm part of a Zoom group, I either see the white or green light that I'm staring at and I see nothing else, or I see myself looking down at the people on the screen. And so are there different rules of thumb or rules of the road in these two different settings? That's the question to Tommy today.
What a question, Joe. It's Monday morning, man. Come on, huh? You know what? Think about it. You just made me think. You made me smile. And there's a lot of room for humor when it comes down to, I like what you said. When you're live, you can stay center stage if that's who you are. You can move to the right and plant yourself and talk to the right. See, the good thing about being live that I've always enjoyed is that you control everything. If you're off to the right talking to that, they feel included, yet everyone else is hearing you. And
Mm-hmm.
soon you move to left stage and you can talk to them and everybody's still hearing you, but everybody feels included. It's one of the greatest tips of making everyone feel inclusive in a live event is to move towards their section. Look
Right.
out, talk to the people in the back. Now, how do we bring that to the virtual? It's a very interesting question. As I said, the lesson I learned is most people will put their name up, which you don't have in every audience that you're in.
Mm-hmm.
So to include their name, everybody loves to hear their name. So you could literally say, hey, Mary, what are your thoughts? Hey, Bill, good to see you with us today, to make them feel inclusive. The reason we move on stage and we move around is just to let that section of our audience feel included, inclusive. Hey, he's paying attention to my section. Hey, he's talking to my section, that kind of a thing. So the same thing. It's a different world. And as much as I'll always say to you, Joe, I can't wait to get back to live, meeting people at the door, talking to people before, during, and after the program.
Mm-hmm.
Where, as much as we say this works, and it is a great teaching tool, it really is, this virtual platform. But as far as speaking and motivating, it's not quite the same. The
Right.
energy the energy of a room is one of the most powerful things. And I'll give you an example.
Mm-hmm.
A big rock and roll fan. I always have been. Live concerts have been my thing since I'm a kid. My wife and I have been to over 300 concerts.
Huh.
Now, during this virtual platform, some of our favorite artists are putting up some shows, an hour and a half show live or an hour show live with
Mm-hmm.
no audience. They're just the band playing.
Right.
And the difference is the energy is just complete. It's almost sad that they're playing, the music's great, but you want to be sitting in the first 3 rows of that event. You want to hear that music live. That energy that comes through you changes your vibration. That's the thing that I think misses. A good presenter, a good public speaker, a motivational speaker, inspirational, will change your vibration that you're in. They'll change your vibration. And the vibration is what causes all the effect in our life. So you don't get that through the virtual. So I like the idea of being live because you can really shift someone through vibration.
I hear that. And it brings up another question that I read someplace that when you're on, I'll say TV, perhaps. That's one example.
Right.
They're actually doing a virtual presentation. That you need to be more animated, perhaps. You need to be more exuberant in your body language or expressive syndrome. Is that a real phenomena in connecting? Or was it technique?
Well, the thing with television, if you're talking about a television show, there's multiple characters. And let's not forget they're interacting with each other, which brings the humor in and all that good stuff. Yeah, very few times will you see one where someone's presenting, unless for instance, a Joel Osteen, let's say, that's recorded, it's on television, but he's doing it in front of a live audience. So when you think about it, what is he there to do when he brings it to the television? It's just to carry the message, right? And more than anything is that we're using this platform. And that's a good way to look at it. I'll say today, this is genius. So
right, you'd say that all the time. So for those who are listening,
but I was going to say thank you for bringing it up, Joe.
Okay.
It's a great way to carry your message. It really is to relay one message, your thoughts to people. It's a way to do it. But the energy-wise, 2 different worlds. I don't think it'll ever compare. Now, can you get your message out on a virtual platform? You sure can.
Okay. So if I'm hearing you correctly, then the indication and the need to be more interactive, expressive, flamboyant, for lack of a better phrase, is more critical in a virtual setting versus a live setting, because you don't have the animation, the walking, the back and forth, the getting in front of the podium. You kind of lose all that body language. So, in fact, some people, let me do this differently. Some people say when you do a Zoom is not going to be more like tissue. It's going to be a generic phrase. When you do a Zoom, you should stand up as opposed to sit down, because if you stand up, then you're more inclined to move back and forth and side to side. And are these little tricks of the trade once you consider within the limitation?
When I do my entertainment, if I do any virtual shows, I'm always standing because it's the energy. You can present yourself. You can move the camera back and get a full view, full angle of where you're at. Right now, most people are here. And when we discuss it, and we've discussed it a few different times, with this platform, it's your vocal variety that changes you. The pitch, tone, volume, pace, all that stuff comes into play, and facial expressions. So the good thing about standing up is like you said, you can use gestures. You can actually make yourself look like you're a speaker on stage. And make believe, I say it all the time, make believe you're in front of an audience. It'll change your virtual presentation. Make believe that you're live. That's the thing I had to teach myself. I kept saying, I'm a live guy. I'm a live guy. Poor me. I got to do this. Right. But the good news is we were able to do this. We get to do this because it's still keeping us out there, keeping us visible, and keeping us out in front of prospects.
Sure. I hear you. And I thank you for that. Excuse me. I get choked up when I have to agree with
Yeah,
this
you
guy.
know what? I don't blame you. What a way to start your week. You lucky guy.
I tell you, right? You say it's like getting it out the way. Let's move on. When I was a kid growing up, I hated vegetables, and I had two younger sisters.
That's
and
good.
when my mother, we always had a vegetable. My mother said you must always clean the plate. Nothing's to be wasted. And we had a dog who would lie underneath the table because the dog knew, and all of us knew, if our mother diverted her attention, the dog got the vegetables because my mother would not
There you
allow
go.
that to be left. Well, mother always found a reason to stay in the kitchen cleaning up, washing dishes, drying dishes, whatever it was. She never left our room when we were eating. I don't know where moms get that sense from. So what my sisters would do, what I would do is I get the vegetables, eat them first, get them out the way. Because I want to cruise into the mashed potatoes and the gravy and the chicken
biscuits.
kind of stuff syndrome. You're right. Well, my sister would save the vegetables for last to eat, fighting it tooth and nail. And it's now the cold, any taste they had is gone. So anyway, Tommy, I'm getting my vegetables done with you in the first part of the meal of the week.
You know what?
So get it out the way.
I love the way you pace that. So we do 8 a.m. on Monday just to get this over with.
That's
Thank
right,
you.
to be done with it.
Thank you so much.
It's a great experience to walk into first thing in the week to get your week started. Don't just ignore that side issue, that tangent I went off on.
And probably even before breakfast, just in case, right?
For a lot of people. That's why a lot of us look at us on the replay site, which works. Please leave comments, by the way, even doing replay, because we do audit those. We do get back to you. Any questions or comments, please share that also. One of the points you also made about the difference between virtual reality and physical presence is that people oftentimes will put their name tag into their Zoom connection thing, which I think is good.
Right.
Because, as you said, Tommy, rather than say eye contact and say, hey, Bob or Susie or Sally or Fred, and you can look at their name tag and make direct comment to them. And by the way, for those in the audience that sometimes forget to do that, understand this issue of networking is to be physically present or virtually present. And if they don't see your name, they cannot connect the name to the face and what you do also. So it is a good technique to use one way or the other.
Certainly. Any way we can get noticed and stick out, stand out a little bit amongst the crowd, backdrop, whatever it might be, something that makes you shine, something somebody remembers you from. In a live event, people are going to remember you for what you do. How are you physically? How are you spiritually? How's your voice? They're going to remember that. How's your message? So you can brand. You see people are now more and more and more from where we were when this, believe it or not, a year ago, people were jumping on, they were using the virtual backgrounds and half their head was disappearing and, the ear was falling off, and so what they were remembered for was they had only one ear. But in fact, people started to really go, and now they're branding their backdrop and they're doing whatever they can. And, they're getting step and repeats behind them so people can see them. So everybody adapted pretty well to this. And as a presenter, use it the best way you can. Be clear, be precise, like I was just then, precise, and get your message out. That's all you want to do. Don't overthink it.
Fair enough. And then what Tommy just said and did in terms of our technique and back and forth, again, I'd like to believe, I'm tending to believe that Tommy was born this way. I heard, rumor has he was a character even from day one of birth syndrome here. But again, another topic will likely be in depth, that the concept of becoming a confident public speaker. And again, actually, let's do it this way. We've got a few minutes left. Why is it important to be the danger of being an unconfident, not confident. I can't get the thing correct. You say confident public speaker. I guess those two things have to go together. If you're going to be a public speaker, you need to be confident. And if you're confident, put it to use for your business to be a public speaker.
The good news is we had 3 minutes right up until you asked that question. It dropped right down to one.
I'm trying to buy time for you, Tommy, but we'll go ahead.
So they're great. That's a good excuse, Joe. So I'm like the Lady Gaga of public speaking. I was born this way. Well, you were just saying about the confidence. Everybody and everything you do. Remember I was saying earlier about the vibration you put out. So you think of everything, every type of if you put out a vibration of I'm nervous, I'm scared, people are going to pick up on that vibration. So in fact, if you can put out a vibration of confidence and competence, people really like that. I often say, if you go in and you're doing a sales presentation and you're confident in who you are and you're confident in your message and you're confident in your product or service, where could you go wrong there? You're confident, right? You're showing you're confident. You believe in your product. You can't wait to tell people about it. You're good at delivering the message about it. People buy from people like that who are well studied and well prepared. So that's the one thing that I always like to say about public speaking. If you become good at public speaking and you prepare your presentation,
Right.
you'll always get to see that people will understand you're a professional. And I love that phrase. People don't think about it as much. People often think that if I go out and get paid, I'm a professional. And that is the farthest thing from the truth. You're just somebody who went out and got paid. It takes years of presence, building that character of who you are to become a true professional, right? You don't get labeled a professional by yourself. You get labeled a professional by the people who know you and see you, past clients. He's a true professional. That's where you should hear it from, not from yourself. That way you think like, because you got a paycheck, they're a professional, whatever you do. It's from your clients, your prospects, past clients. Those are the people who should call you and say he's a true professional.
I hear that, and it brings up another topic. I might do our next one. We talk about the things you should do to be a confident public speaker. Maybe there's things you shouldn't be doing that works against that. And
well, that's great.
And we might give examples of that on the next session, because I got lots of examples from my end of the world.
Yeah, that's a great point. What should I start doing? What should I stop doing?
Right.
That goes with a lot of things in life. That's great.
Good point. Well,
all right.
Actually,
and I'm wearing a hat to cover it.
I see that. Fair enough. We won't talk you to. We won't say he's a pointed head, but anyway, that's good. I enjoy. I have to say this. I choose to say this. I want to say this. I have to say that in our more than half a year engagement, I've enjoyed this dialogue with Tommy. I certainly have learned a lot. I'm still not convinced it wouldn't help to be born in this world the way he is, it seems, to make it. But if you want to make it, he says, let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Folks, thank you very much. And please leave your comments and questions. We'll see you guys next time, same place.
Thanks, Joe.